Hello, MBA aspirants. Welcome to MBA Dr. CTC, that is Concept to Completion. If you value the importance of your career goals, you certainly value your future. Long-term goal is generally how do you see yourself after 5 to 10 to 20 years depending upon the number of years of your work experience. Short-term goal is what do you plan to do immediately after doing your MBA. Admissions committee should be able to see your goal as an ambitious idea that can visualize the future. Further, the three important dimensions while writing the career goals are industry that you want to be in, its related function, and geography or the place where you want to work. I'm Dr. Vinita Singh, and while I help MBA aspirants with essays, recommendations, and interviews with almost 100% success rate for the top business schools, today's podcast titled Career Goals in Your MBA Applications 10 Important Tips is about the trickiest part of the application process, which is writing your long-term and short-term goals. I have shared a few sample drafts showcasing career goals towards the end of my YouTube podcast. So be with me till the end. Career goals should be appropriately defined with meaning, significance, and a sense of purpose. It should reflect an applicant's passion. Additionally, there should be a connect between your prior skills, experiences, and post-MBA goals. Further, convincing motivation for pursuing an MBA from the school that you are applying to is a must. An MBA should accelerate your career path, but it cannot be the source of a ready solution to provide you a dream job. Therefore, career goals determine how you would benefit from the school. Let me begin with the tips. First tip is that goals should be realistic, motivating, and specific, related with your professional experience or any other work or extracurricular that you are passionate about. Second tip is that career goals reflect resolve and logic. Therefore, do not present a huge vision without giving a specific argument related to your experience and knowledge. Third tip is that to write your statement of purpose or essays with conviction, it is essential to be clear about what you want to do at business school and afterwards. Once you have clarity regarding your foresight, organize your material around that theme. The business schools want to take students who want MBA for the right reasons and who are at the right juncture in their careers and want to have the maximum benefit. This will facilitate the schools to help students maximize the benefits of an MBA by choosing right courses, networking appropriately, and marketing themselves effectively to future employers. Fourth tip is to do an exhaustive research on your career goals for the future, having complete understanding about industry and its function. Your direct experience or client experience related with your industry matters to the school and consequently to the future employer. To illustrate, vision could be related with career in finance, associated with investment banking, venture capital, private equity, and the like. Fifth tip is to check the statistics of the school from its website. Look at the specific details if you plan to get into industries like finance, healthcare, education, environment, accounting, marketing, operations, supply chain, media, etc. Some other domains could be real estate, international business, entrepreneurship, IT or technology management, and so on. It is advisable to be explicit in your goals, talking about the responsibility you would be handling to work in a functional area for the betterment of the society. Sixth tip is that an applicant may have non-profit based or social impact based goals. However, it is not a prerequisite. Seventh tip is that goals could reflect a career shift also by talking about limitations of your current career track and showing your understanding and your passion for the field you want to get into. But some advice is that do not attempt to write creative and unusual goals just to distinguish yourself. Your statement should justify your approach and should convince the admissions committee of your planned career path. Eighth tip is how you research schools related to recruiter assessment, salary, employment rate, etc. depends on the career goals. Quite a few applicants are not clear about the reason for doing an MBA. They want to have high pay, brand name of the school in their profile, and a progressive career. However, it is a big mistake to say that you do not have a clear-cut vision. It is very important to provide a context and then build a story based on your academic and professional experiences, which will take you to your goal after completing MBA from the selected school. Therefore, the most critical essay for many of the business schools is related to the reasons for wanting an MBA. Admissions officer should see the story of planned future making sense. Ninth tip is that once you clearly mention your need to do an MBA program for your future vision, the next step is to justify that this is the right time for it. You need to convince the admissions officer that management knowledge and credentials of an MBA are mandatory for your progress, whether you remain in your present career field or switch into a new field based on your passion. The schools want to be sure that an applicant has clarity related to future career and that an MBA fits with his or her vision and that an applicant is applying at an appropriate time. 10th tip is, do not show that you are expecting to get a job solely based on your MBA training. If an engineer wants to become an investment banker, it is risky from the point of view of the school. Check the employment statistics mentioned in the school's website. Check the career placement reports of the schools and the top hiring organizations. See that business school has some placements in your target area. It is better to be strategic, a little cautious, and careful while stating your short-term goal. MBA training and prior experience should reflect the feasibility of your short-term goal. It should be a reasonable step towards the long-term goal. It should sound sensible in terms of a transition. Having said that, keep in mind that you should specify one future career track rather than two or more. Before I move ahead, let me tell you that you might end up doing something entirely different from what you stated in your career vision. So nobody can stop you from doing what you want to do once you get an admit from your dream business school. Also, before writing your career goals, gather as much information as you can from the school website, alumni, and current students so that you too have a realistic picture. The goals question may be asked in different formats. Look at some questions that you may be asked while you are applying to the top business schools. Even if a school does not ask a direct question, make sure that you connect your future vision with your academic and work experience, the nature of job after you complete your MBA, and why have you chosen that school and how do you fit into that school in your statement of purpose. Now take a careful look at some career goals. Take pauses wherever necessary and collect your thoughts and then create your own career goals. The sample drafts that I share in my podcasts, when needed, have been written by my students from a wide range of backgrounds. These will give you an idea to write your own career goals for needing an MBA. I repeat that you must remember that your goal should be realistic and connected to your professional examples or your passion for moving ahead in life. You should be able to convince the admissions officer for your dire need to do an MBA. Keep in mind that it is illegal and unethical to copy the content from sample drafts for writing your own goals, as every individual will have their own story to narrate based on their experiences of life. Therefore, let these career goals just guide you for better understanding and comprehending the content in a better manner. In today's podcast, besides speaking about 10 important tips, I shared a few career goals for superior comprehension and how you can express that in your MBA applications. I have shared some valuable links of the rankings for 2021 and links of some of my related podcasts in the description box. Do not forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment if you think I missed out any important point or if you want me to make a podcast on a topic of your choice. May all your aspirations come true and you get an admit from your dream business school. Watch out for my next podcast. Take care and stay safe.